Hello.
Hello, Claire.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. Very well. Yeah, very good. I've got a word for you.
I'm ready.
The word is appreciation.
Mm. Now, isn't it a lovely word?
Mm.
Even just saying it. Yeah. It's funny how saying a word can change your vibration. Yeah. It reminds me of this is something I learned from Neville Goddard, who is a spiritually works with law of attraction stuff. He's long since passed. But he had something that I say every day, and it is, isn't it wonderful? And to me, that is appreciation. And just saying the words, isn't it wonderful? Lifts. And when I repeated appreciation, it's like, yeah, it has a similar effect where it's just a lightening of the energy. And of course, that's what we are. So when we have a lightening of our energy, we attract other things to us that are of a similar energy. So when I think about appreciation, it's really it's really about accepting what is and not resisting, because there's that old saying, there's a silver lining in everything kind of thing. And when you're going through a time that feels really hard or tough or challenging, or there's loss or grief or whatever's going on, whatever the circumstances are in your life, I have never come across a time when there wasn't something that I could appreciate.
Mm.
Admittedly, there are some times when I know there are things to appreciate and I don't want to, because I want to kind of stay in my crappy mood or my grief or my sadness or whatever. And really, I think that's part of wisdom as well. Appreciating something is available to us every moment of every day. And there's a time when we're just meant to, how do I say, let the emotions move through, let them be emoted, don't discount them, don't, um, how do I say, like, we totally can look to appreciation to change our mood in a moment. But sometimes wisdom is saying, just stay with it. Just stay with whatever's going on and let it move through you. On the other side, appreciation is not something that you need to make any kind of effort or put any kind of attention to, because it'll happen naturally.
Mm.
Yeah, appreciation is a wonderful thing. It can change everything in a dime. And where I see it's really useful too, it's when, we've already moved through something. We've already expressed the grief or sadness or disappointment or discouragement or whatever it might be, because they're all okay. We're built for all that. We're made to experience all of the emotion. And then there's a time when we're just dredging things up, where we're just reliving things. For I believe that if we really ask ourselves why, I'll ask that of myself, because I had a dream last night and it brought up some old memories. So I relived them for a bit this morning. And if I was to ask myself, Michaela, for what purpose are you reliving this? And it's like, yeah, no really good purpose. There's nothing to solve. There's nothing to change about it. It's done. It's gone. Right now, right here, I have a moment in life that I can appreciate. There is something to appreciate. Yeah. So I love the word. I love the emotion. I love the vibration and everything that it brings up. And I see that when we when we go with the flow of who we are, following that guidance that's always got us, it'll always be there, ready for us. And it's something we can look to when we know we're just being silly, when we know we're just doing something like I was doing this morning, make myself feel cruddy, reliving some memories. That's all it is. And then I put my attention to the day, which happens to be something I really appreciate, what I'm going to be doing today, paddleboarding. So yeah, that's a lovely word. I'd love to hear what you know today about appreciation.
Well, I think you were kind of pointing to it as you finished, that it's back to that my favourite Jack Pransky quote, which is all we are is peace, love and wisdom, and the ability to create the illusion that we're not. Well, I think appreciation is with that peace, love and wisdom, that's our natural state when we're not caught up in the idea that anything's supposed to be different to how it is. That's it's just a default, really. But we spend, like, I can totally relate to getting lost in the story of something for hours and hours at a time sometimes. That is really like, what is the purpose of that? I was thinking it almost sometimes feels a bit addictive, that like it's almost like I'm just so in the habit of doing this thing, doing this, going over things, ranting about people and their behaviour is generally my thing, that you just do get stuck in a rut. And then you can end up not appreciating a single thing about that situation or that person, despite the fact in a different state of mind you would be in a state of, you would be more appreciative of that person, situation, whatever it is, but you're not, because you're too caught up in the thinking of why it's not how it should be. I think while I've been on this 3 principles journey, I've kind of just become a lot more appreciative, I think, like just noticing quite small things more than I used to. Out for walks, just appreciating everything that's growing, or everything, or even appreciating now the change of the season and the change of the colours and everything. Everything changing to the next season. I feel like I find myself more in that state and appreciate smaller and smaller things than I used to. And therefore find that I'm not so desperate for lots of things that I used to think were important to have or to, do or whatever. Don't seem to be quite so needed, because there's appreciation for such small things in life, little things, that I don't feel myself chasing that feeling out there anymore, because it's there all the time. It can literally be in, I'm just looking around on my desk, there's like a pen here that's just a really cool pen that turns. I probably got it from a networking event or something, some business owner with their business actually stamped on it, so I don't know who they are, but I just do appreciate this pen. It's just got a really nice like turn to it. You turn it to put it on, and I can sit and play with it. But it's just like a pen. But how cool is it that somebody has made that? It's got a nice weight to it, somebody's invented it, somebody's created it, somebody's sat in a factory making it, and then some business owners chosen this and put their branding on it, and it's like, yeah, wow, that's like just a pen, but it's not just a pen, is it? Like, it's a whole, to appreciate the thought that's brought this to life is like, yeah, I find myself doing that more, like just what's around me now, and just like, wow, isn't it amazing, like all we've got available to us, and we don't have to look very far. And I also think you point to this a bit, that there's something about that feeling of appreciation. You know, the Abraham Hicks stuff, they have like an emotional scale thing that they look at.
Yes.
They say like, what vibration? I think appreciation is literally at the top. If not at the top, it's somewhere quite near appreciation, gratitude. They're quite near the top.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing of, I think, a couple of clients I've spoken to this week who've been very much in this. If I don't work on it, if I don't make it happen, if I don't change me, in particular, both these clients are about changing themselves and not being happy with themselves, that I will, I'll just be useless the rest of my life. And, and my own journey at the moment with my body, and just, I'm a little bit not happy with the weight of it and the size of it. And then seeing that, but actually, wow, my body actually can do so much stuff. And for these other clients, I'm trying to point them towards actually, what do they do that is amazing? Like, just start there, because somehow in society, I think, especially, well, right through our childhood, when people kind of made us do things to make us be better. But then I think the self-development industry has a lot to answer for as well, that it seems like it's our job just to feel awful about whatever situation we're in, so that it'll make it better. Come on,
Yeah.
work hard on yourself, or work hard in your situation, and it'll change. Whereas it's the other way around, really, that when you appreciate what's there already, like appreciating that although my body, seems to be not the weight I would like it to be, it's strong body. It can, I went for a walk the other week, and I was walking up with the 30-year-olds, and the other 50-year-old women were having the rucksacks carried by the walk leader. Like, there was something about, actually check it out. My body is strong, and, can do lots of things, and carries me everywhere, and does everything I want to do creatively. I wouldn't be able to do all those things without it. And what I've noticed since I've kind of been more in that place is maybe a little bit more ease around food, and just not thinking about it as much. And I do know that when I'm not thinking about food all the time, I'm probably just going to eat generally better, because it won't be like this thing in my head, or just be relaxed and kind of feel more intuitive about food, rather than having this thing tapping on the shoulder saying, "Oh, you probably shouldn't eat that, Claire, because it's going to make you fat." Horrible voice that's there. So I think if we can start with appreciation, with any change we want to make, just start with what is amazing about this situation. What, even in business, I've not got enough clients, but what about the clients you have got? Could you just love them so much and appreciate them so much, and appreciate every penny they pay you? And maybe that's just a nicer place to be. And it seems that the consequences of that, like you said, are to attract more of what we do want into our lives.
Yes. Yeah. That is really how it works. The only thing that, ever gets in the way, because, you use the words start with appreciation. And it's like, we're there. We're there. We don't even have to, we don't even have to make an effort to it once we really understand that, how do I say? because you don't even have to understand it, because we've lived it all our lives. When things are going our way, we're seeing it, we're appreciating, we're in the flow of it, and things just happen. And yeah, has this ever happened to you where like things are just going your way and you're just really enjoying it, and then you start to notice how well things are going, and it's like, what's going on? Why are things are just going? And then you start to focus on it, and then you start to like, ooh, I don't want to jinx it, or ooh, I want more of this. And then you start to get involved, and you kind of pinch off the flow of it, because we're no longer in the flow. We're no longer really just being present in the moment, allowing ourselves to be guided.
Easily done.
Yeah, it is. Because this kind of just occurred to me that it's, because when we are in the flow and things are feeling good or fine or vanilla or whatever, it doesn't mean they're, oh my God, life is so good. It can just be that life is just good. You're healthy, things are going, they're moving along, there's nothing. And then something happens that catches our attention. We think, oh my gosh, stuff is always happening to us. Why does everything go wrong? And it's only that our attention has been caught. We're in resistance to something that happened. And so we've made it become something. We're not in resistance typically to the things that are going well. We're just in the middle of it. We're just flowing with it. But if some little thing happens and we can't accept that, we don't want to accept that, we're resisting it, that is really when there is no appreciation. Because you can't be appreciative and resistant at the same time.
That's true.
Actually, it really is that simple. And then it's just a matter of remembering it when we forget, and accepting that we're gonna forget, because that is just the nature of being human on this material plane. It's, yeah. And that's okay. That's okay. The more you remember and don't get caught up in, I forgot again, what's wrong with me? All of that BS. And just like, oh, okay, human again, and then just carry on. What do I have to appreciate? This is what's happening in my life right now. This is some of the circumstances. What do I know to do? You'll know what to do when you just allow yourself to, like, I don't know. For me, it's like looking at it practically, like settle back, and just, what do you know to do based on what's in front of you in this moment? You'll move in a direction, and you can that too is something to appreciate, is to that you will know. You always have known, because you wouldn't be here today if you didn't make a decision at some point that got you to where you are. It's marvelous. It's in you. Use the word amazing. We're amazing creatures. And that is something to really appreciate too.
Yeah, I think a lot of that appreciation is helpful when directed at ourselves, because we can generally be just the opposite, like in resistance to ourselves, because we don't think we're doing it right or good enough or whatever else. And that, maybe, for many people, it would be just to start with something small to appreciate, particularly about yourself or your situation. Does it, like, just start with a little bit of it, like appreciate your little finger if you need to start there, or your feet because they walk, if it's your body, or what you did do today rather than what you didn't do today, because that's, a good trap for people to fall into, isn't it?
Yeah.
Noticing what
Yeah.
you have achieved rather than what you haven't achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It was on an Insight Timer call, and we were talking about this, and someone asked, what if you're so low? And I gave an example of like this, because I've been there in my life too. In bed, I find nighttime can be challenging when we are awake and the world seems to be sleeping and it seems that we're alone. And so I created a scenario. I said, even in that moment, in the dark, in your bed, there's maybe a soft comforter or a comfortable pillow or warm pajamas or how the moonlight plays on the light plays on the wall.
Mm.
Even in those moments, there's like something just like that. And you said, choose something small. It's like even in what we, might call our darkest hours, there's something there that you
Mm.
can lean onto, grab onto, put your attention onto. And then it's kind of like a stepping. When you indicated, this is Stephen Hawking's, the levels of consciousness and the vibration, right? And the same idea with Abraham about like stepping your way up in vibration, in feeling better. And it's tiny. It could just be, yes, I appreciate having a blanket. I'm so glad I have a blanket. And it's like, what could be next? And it's like, well, there's the feel of it, or there's the right. Each little step up will get you to a place where you can get out of bed, maybe, or just appreciate having a bed, being in the bed. But it's like stepping your way up. It's when we think about going from feeling really low to being happy, yeah, it can feel like a big chasm. Is that what that's called? Chasm. I don't know how to say that.
I think
Chasm.
it's probably spelt chasm.
Yes. Yeah. 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 It can look like really big. Like, how am I ever going to be happy? Start where you are and step your way there. Yeah.
And if you can't, that's also okay too. I think that self-compassion piece is going to be so, sometimes we just can't, can we?
Yeah. Yeah. But interestingly, we always pop out of it.
Oh, God.
Right? We just may not be aware of it.
Mm.
Yeah, we might feel like we're always sad or always this or always that, but if you really care to look, you'll see that there is moments where actually you weren't feeling that.
Mm.
That is like a good news part. That's like a crack. That's a light. That's something you can delve into and like know that, oh, okay, it's not always. Sometimes, a lot of the time maybe, but not always.
Mm.
Yeah.
So there's hope. There's always hope.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm. Thank you,
Okay.
Claire. That was really good word.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where that would go. It was lovely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you too.
Yeah. I'll see you next time.
Yes, you will. Ciao.
Bye.